Hey everyone. This morning there was a large barn fire in Abbotsford today around King Road and Clearbrook, and it was a barn that had previously housed chickens. So it was empty apparently, so no chickens were burned and no injuries. And this is part of Newfeld Farms. No word on the cause. Let me just show you a bit of what it looked like. Just a huge fire. Insane. And when I first heard about it, it kind of made me think, gosh, there are a lot of food factories that just go up in flames. Like lately, we've been hearing about it, although you don't see it reported on the news. But a lot of food factories in the US just randomly burn.
It's a truly bizarre story and one that is getting very little coverage across the country. Food processing plants have been catching fire and have been destroyed over the past year. In fact, these fires began showing up regularly in the news after a fire closed a Tyson Foods meat processing plant in Kansas. The location was a primary beef processing location for the company and the U.S. supply chain, providing about 6% of all U.S. beef. Shortly after that fire, there was talk that the meat supply in the U.S. could be affected. These are just a couple of examples. In all, there have been 16 of these cases. In February, Scherer's food processing plant in Hermiston, Oregon burned down, leaving 2 employees injured. On April 13th, Taylor Farms food processing plant in Salinas, California burned and prompted evacuations. On April 19th, the headquarters of the Azure Standard Food Processing Plant in Defer, Oregon also burned. What seems to be happening right now is beyond coincidence, a series of accidents and fires and damages at food processing plants in a moment where we're being warned that there's going to be a shortage of food supplies.
That's the thing. You're gonna hear little things like, "Oh, well, oh, there was a fire here," and so when you go to your supermarket and you see that the prices of chicken is like through the roof, and that eggs are very expensive, you might think, "Oh, well, this is why." But just sort of think about the fact that they do. Sometimes these things are done unnecessarily, like, and then you'll hear about the avian flu, right? So they kind of get you. There's always a flu, always a virus, always something to get you sort of thinking in your head that this is just a thing that happens, right? When come on, you know better now, right? So here's what a lot of mainstream media says about the avian flu. Okay, here's an article from CTV. Oh, look at these chickens. Oh, no, dude, very cute. But cases of avian flu influenza in birds across Canada rose sharply heading into the fall. Data from the federal government shows. Known commonly as bird flu or H5N1, the virus spreads quickly among chickens, ducks, quail, and other fowl through close contact with infected birds or their excrement. It is almost always lethal, leaving farmers with the difficult decision to euthanize or watch the virus spread. Well, the thing is, can't you just narrow this down? I mean, do you have to burn and cook alive millions of chickens? Can you not contain? If you can isolate, can you not contain? Can you not just maybe euthanize a couple of them? You gotta, it's like a whole recall of all the chickens. Stop and think for a second. Like, did it spread? How about you do your due diligence? How about you do your proper testing? It's just like, when the mad cow happened. I have a friend that thinks that the mad cow thing is all a big hoax, right? And they just did it to cull all the cows or to discourage you from eating beef. Back then, they don't want you to eat any meat now. It's all bugs and whatever they're trying to push now. But so the thing is, millions of chickens are being destroyed, therefore millions of eggs will be destroyed, and then that affects everything. It affects your, obviously food, but eggs are used for baking. I mean, the knock-on consequences are huge, as they tell you, oh, it's avian flu. I mean, there's millions of chickens are being burned alive because of this. Here's an article about this. US egg, okay, this is from the Guardian. US egg factory roasts alive 5.3 million chickens in avian flu cull, then fires almost every worker. Oh my God, that is awful. They basically turned the heat up in one of these chicken in these barns and just roasted them until the chicken suffocated. And I heard something silly like they did a PCR test on one of the chickens and they killed 5.3 million chickens based on this one chicken that seemed to have the avian flu. You can't contain this one chicken? What the hell? So all I'm asking is that when your food prices go up, And slowly you think, well, it's because there's a big fire, this fire that just happened, or oh, it's the avian flu. I don't know. You've got to sort of stop and think, like, what is the wool being pulled over your eyes? Is something else happening? I mean, our farmers here in the Abbotsford area and in the Fraser Valley they're already probably just recovering from all the floods, the bloody floods that happen, and the weather changes. So your food production is slowly being like squashed, and then it's on you to foot the bill for it. And I'm just asking you to think about that a little carefully. Like, think about, is whether what you are being told is what you should believe. Thanks for watching this, and we'll see you next time.